Hello everyone, in this video, I'll be teaching you about physical versus chemical changes. So, what are physical versus chemical changes? Let's start off with the physical change. Physical changes. So, a physical change changes the form, shape, or state of a substance. So, what are some key indicators of a physical change? Well, some key indicators are no new substance is formed. No new substance is formed. That means when you mix two things or something turns into another thing, that substance has to stay the same. No new substance will be formed in that substance. So H2O, if it's ice to gas or ice to water, H2O stays the same. It's still H2O, no new substance, right? It is reversible. Reversible. So what does this mean? That means, for example, ice turning into water, we can turn water back into ice by freezing it. That's why it is reversible. Another one. So, it could include change in size, shape, phase, such as liquid, gas, or solid, or even texture. So, those are the key indicators of physical changes. Now let's look at some examples. Let's think of water boiling into steam. Well, water is a liquid, of course, right? Water is H2O. It becomes steam, which is a gas, but it's still H2O. That's a change in phase. It turns from a liquid into a gas. Then there's salt dissolving into water. Now, salt, NaCl, sodium chloride, it breaks into ions in the water, of course, but it still is sodium chloride. It changes size. Breaking glass. The glass shatters. Say you drop glass like a vase, or you're getting a plate for your mom, and you drop it on the floor. Obviously, now it's a bunch of little pieces, but the glass is still glass. It just changes its physical properties. It's still glass. It changes shape or size. Same with tearing paper. You tear paper, right? But it's still paper. Nothing changes. It doesn't chemically change. So, how we can think of physical changes? Well, physical changes, it's like changing into your clothes. Like changing into your clothes. Now, why is it changing into your clothes? Well, it's like changing into your clothes because you look different, but you're still the same person. You could put on as many outfits as you want, as many different colors, combinations, but you're still you. That is why it's a physical change. You are you, and whatever you put on yourself, you're still you. So, that is physical changes. Now let's move on to chemical changes. Let's change colors here. Chemical changes. So, what is a chemical change? Well, we already looked at physical changes, and that means they're reversible, no new substances form, and there's only like changes in their physical properties such as size, shape, phase, or texture, right? But what's a chemical change? It is essentially the opposite. So, a chemical change results in the formation of one or more new substances. With properties different from the original material. This means that the atoms in the original material, they're rearranged, they're breaking their bonds, they're doing what atoms do, and they're forming new ones. So, what are some key indicators? Well, we knew in physical changes, no new substances are formed. Well, let's take a guess. In chemical changes, new substances are formed. In physical changes, it was reversible. Let's take a guess again. Irreversible. They are irreversible. There's also energy change. So if you notice some increase in temperature, decrease in temperature, that is a chemical change, because it's released or absorbed. And then, in my opinion, some of the most important ones are color change, gas production, and temperature change. I feel like these are key giveaways, especially color change. If you see color change or gas production, then you're definitely seeing a chemical change. So, let's look at some examples. So if you see paper burning, so we saw paper tearing, right? It's still paper. But what happens when paper is burning? Can you reverse the burning of that paper? You can't easily, at least. There's no way you can just put back the paper, right? It's gone. It's burnt. It's the oxygen. The paper reacts with the oxygen to produce like ash, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. The paper is completely gone. So, how about baking a cake, right? This is one of my favorite examples. When you're baking a cake, you're using flour and egg, right? Flour, egg, some other ingredients. When you turn that egg and flour into a cake, can you turn it back? No. That egg and flour is just turned into cake completely, right? So this is one of my favorite examples. Baking a cake. I feel like it clearly demonstrates what a chemical change is. So, let's ask some key questions when you're looking at a question on if it's a chemical or physical change. Key questions. So, is a new substance formed? Is a new substance formed? If it's a yes, then it's a chemical change. If it's a no, then it's a physical change. So, can the change be easily reversed? Can it be reversed? Let's look back at the cake and the changing clothes analogy. When you're putting clothes on, it can be reversed, right? So if it's yes, then it's physical. The clothes analogy. If it's no, like baking a cake, you can't turn it back into eggs and flour, then it's chemical. Cake analogy. Right? So that is chemical versus physical changes. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. See you in the next one.